Strategy 2 is called chunking. And yes, please take a minute to look at the chunky soup can as our clever visual with this one. Chunking means if we have many pieces of information to learn, we don't try to learn them all individually. We try to group information together so it's easier on the brain. It's easier if you're trying to learn 3 chunks than if you're trying to learn 10 individual pieces of information. The most common example is a phone number. If somebody's giving you their phone number, you don't memorize it as 3, 1, 0, and then each number separately. We do the area code, 310, then the prefix, and then the last 4 numbers. So we could use the power of that strategy for other things. Spelling words, for example, through, instead of learning the 7 letters of through, maybe we can chunk the THR and we can chunk the OUGH. Sometimes it's obvious how we can check information, sometimes it's less obvious, but it's worth looking anytime a large amount of information needs to be learned because perhaps it could be put into smaller chunks. I'd like to give you a minute to practice on a piece of paper with somebody at your table. If for homework or for your quiz, you are asked to learn these 8 facts, rather than learn them as 8 facts, can you group them into some smaller chunks and then practice the chunks based on some similarities that you see among the numbers? There are many ways that chunking can be done, and one of the fundamental findings of brain research is that every brain is different. What makes perfect sense to one person might not make much sense to anybody else, and vice versa. So here's one way. If your way looked a lot different and it works for you, then that is great. So maybe we put all the facts with a 0 together. We could generalize the principle that anything multiplied by 0 is going to be 0. Then maybe we put all the ones multiplied by 1 together, which is just going to be the same as the first number. And then maybe 1 would be by itself, or maybe you did all the ones with 2. The fact is we took 8 discrete facts and we put them into two larger chunks or 3 chunks. So anytime you want to try that strategy, I think it's worth a go.